packages to unbox today, some manga and some new fan art prints that just arrived today. But before I get into these, I have quite a few things that I wanted to share that I've gotten over the past week or so. Some of it is manga, but most of it is merch, so like pins, fan art, acrylic charms. So I did make a little list of all the things that I'm gonna share in this video so that I wouldn't accidentally skip anything. But because so many of these things are fan art and fan-made pins, for each item I will put on the screen the social media contact for the artist or for the pin maker or shop. I will have timestamps below, so feel free to jump ahead to whatever might be interesting to you, or if you need to go back to anything to find the contact information. But I'll go ahead and get started. So first I got these enamel pins of these two Fruits Basket characters, Kyo and Haru. There's a whole line of all of the zodiacs, as well as some other characters in the story, in this kimono series. So when I found out about this series being released, I went right over to check it out. I love traditional clothing, and so I really was interested in getting some of these. And there were quite a few that I wanted, but I decided to just get these two, Kyo and Haru. Haru is my favorite character in Fruits Basket. I really like Kyo, and Kyo is my husband's favorite character. So I just went with these two. But then after I got them, they were just so cute. And the pins were just made really well. So since receiving this, I have put in another order for a few more of the Fruits Basket characters in this kimono series. But really happy with these pins, and I'm really excited for the next batch of pin mail to come. I also just wanted to quickly share with this little pin board. I actually got this from Etsy. There was a shop that had little horizontal pin boards and then as well as vertical pin boards. And so I did pick up quite a few of these mini ones because I did have several little chibi pins on the way. And then in addition to this mini size, they had a small, medium, and large. And I also got, hold it up for comparison. I think this is the medium size. I don't know if I'm going to use it because most of my pins are just little ones, but I wanted to get it just to kind of compare and to see what the quality was like. I wasn't really sure from the pictures on Etsy what the quality would be like, but I'm really happy with it. These were made with a 3D printer and it's really lightweight. The foot on it is really short, so you can put it like really close up against something on the bookshelf. But even though it's really lightweight, really thin, it holds the pins just fine. So those mini ones are pretty small, so they don't like tip over at all. But I do have another one that is a little smaller than this one that does right now have a heavy pin on it. I'll put an image up on the screen. But it does have a heavy pin on it, and it has not had any problem holding it or like tipping or anything. So the little feet sticking out the back, being all short, is just perfect. So glad I got these for now for my pin display. The next couple items I got were part of group orders I did with a friend. So even though I ordered them some time ago, she was holding them for me, waiting on other items before she packed everything and shipped them to me. And a couple of those items. First, these two Haikyu pins of Omisakse. He's my favorite character in Haikyu, and honestly, if he had a Nendoroid, I probably would have been content with just having his Nendoroid, but because he doesn't yet, hopefully he will, but because he doesn't yet, I was so tempted when I saw these adorable little tiny chibi pins of him, both in his high school uniform and then post-time skip, the team that he plays on. So I just had to get these. He's so cute, and I'm so happy to have these now. And this is tiny, like very small, so it just is perfect to just like put on my Haikyu shelf, and it doesn't block anything, and I'm able to just have a little extra Omi representation on my shelves. So really happy to have these. And then I also got these two Wotakoi pins. I know that there is some official merch, mostly prints, and then I have seen a bit of fan merch as well, prints, standees, pins. And while this is my favorite manga series, as well as my favorite manga anime couple, and Narumi is my favorite female manga anime character, There have been some like prints and pins that I've seen that I just didn't immediately want to get because of the way they looked. They just kind of didn't look like them. But immediately when I saw these ones, I was like, I have to have them because they're in a chibi style, but they're so precious. They look so cute. They look like them. But in a haul a few weeks ago, I did get another Narumi pin. And so I am going to have it on display with these two. And I'm just so happy. They're even cuter than they were online. And I don't know if you can tell, but like in this background, there's like glitter. So it's like extra sparkly. Really happy that I got this. And they're just so cute. There was a version of Hanako and Kabakura in this style, and I decided to pass on those ones because I felt like they kind of looked a little too different. But now I'm kind of going back and forth, and it is possible that I might down the line get them as well, if they're still available. Next, I got these two acrylic keychain charms from Snow White with the Red Hair. And I love these. They're so tiny. They're like very, very tiny. But we have Shiryuki and Zen, and then Shiryuki and Obi. So Shiryuki and Zen, they're my favorite shoujo couple. I love them so much. I really like this series, Snow White with the Red Hair. For this line of all the different designs and the different little couples, they did have, in addition to acrylic charm, they also had an acrylic standee as an option, as well as an enamel pin. But I decided to go with these charms because, one, they were small. The acrylic charm was supposed to be like 3 inches tall, and I felt like that might be a little too big on my shelf. Whereas these ones, I could just like drape over some of the books or drape over one of the frames and have them just hanging down. And it's been perfect. They've been able to just kind of balance the keychain over the top of the frame, and then they just really just hang down and are perfect. Looking back, if I could go back and make any changes, I probably would have gotten pins instead of charms, especially now that I found those pin display boards that are just really tiny. But at the time, I was a little worried if I got pins that I wouldn't be satisfied with the way I had them displayed. So I just decided to go with the acrylic charms. And I'm happy with them. And then next, like I mentioned, these were group orders that my friend was holding for me at her home. And then when she packed them and shipped the package to me, she threw in a bunch of extra little goodies for me. I'm not going to share every single thing that she sent because some of it is not manga anime related. There was also a separate stationery group order that we did, and that's kind of just for a project that I'm going to do on my own, so I'm not going to share that in the haul. But a couple of the other things she sent me that are kind of special that I'm really happy about. First is this print from Snow White with the Red Hair. She knows that Zen and Shiryuki are my favorite shoujo couple, and she found an artist that had done fan art of a lot of different manga romance couples, so she got this one for me and surprised me. And since I got it, I've had it on display on my Snow White with the Red Hair shelf with my acrylic charm hanging over the frame right next to them. So it's just perfect. I'm really happy with it. And just glad to have this sweet fan art print on my shelf. And also this decorated top loader with a Ryang Ha Polaroid. It's so cute. He's wearing like a loosened tie probably, but then the way it's cut, it looks like an apron, like he's a barista or something. And so it's coffee themed. She knows that I have an addiction to coffee. I'm constantly drinking coffee throughout the day. And so now I have barista Ryang Ha to be here with me. But it's kind of funny. I have not been into K-pop and photo card collecting, but she did earlier this year gift me another decorated top loader with a Polaroid of Ryang Ha inside. So I have since gotten some stickers and some blank top loaders that I'm gonna try decorating just because I have a few Polaroids of him and he's my favorite manga anime character, and it's gonna just be a fun little project for me. She also sent me a few volumes of manga. So first, Dengeki Daisy, Volume 1. So this is a series that I really enjoy. It's a age gap romance series that I read earlier this year. And none of the volumes are technically out of print, but about half this series has been out of stock for a while, and I'm just patiently waiting for a reprint. I did already order all of the volumes. 8 of them were in stock and 8 of them were on back order, and she knew that this was one that I was waiting on, and she actually had an extra copy of it. So thank you so much. Now I have 9 of the 16 volumes, so 7 to go. And then she got me a handful of Slice of Life romance series. So Restart After Coming Back Home, which follows 2 adults in a rural town. And these ones, I'm surprised, are like kind of thick. My Summer of You, which follows 2 high schoolers. This one has some content in it that has to do with the boys going on a trip and doing a little pilgrimage because of some films that they're interested in. And this actually really influenced me to want to do some traveling, to do a pilgrimage of my own, to visit some of the places in my favorite anime series. So thank you. And then the last one, Our Dining Table, which follows the story of 2 brothers and a salaryman that they meet who teaches them how to cook as they start having some meals together. So really happy to have all of these and to add them to my collection. So another volume of manga I got in the last week and a half or so is volume 12 of Perfect World, and this is the collector's edition volume in French with a variant cover. So I do have it covered right now because there are series spoilers on here. So if you haven't read Perfect World and you intend to, maybe skip forward to the next timestamp so that you don't see these spoilers that I'm about to reveal. But I just really want to share this cover because I'm really happy that I found out about it so that I would be able to get a copy. So this is the cover for volume 12 of Perfect World, the variant cover. And I'm so happy with it. There's actually the regular volume cover on the inside, but then on the dust jacket, it has additional characters from the story. And I just had to have it because every cover until volume 12 only had the 2 of them on it. And so I thought it was nice to just kind of see where everyone was at the end of the story. Itsuki is my favorite character in the series. I love Koki. And then Keigo is my next favorite character, and I just absolutely love him and his relationship with Kaede. But I was really happy to get a hold of this. I actually, when I found out about this variant cover special edition on Instagram, I tried a few times to order a copy, and I actually made 3 separate orders. One of them was shipped to me and then lost in transit. 2 of the orders that I made from different retailers, the orders were canceled after I submitted them. I think one of them was canceled because it actually was out of stock, and then the other one was canceled because the seller didn't want to have to ship internationally. So I was just really disappointed. I was about ready to give up. But then a friend that lives in Europe offered to help me get a hold of a copy. She was able to order a copy from France, and then after she got it, she forwarded it to me. So she acted as a little proxy for me, and I really, really appreciated it. But again, I'm just so happy to have this now. It's going to be one of my display volumes because I can't read French, but I just got it for this variant cover. So again, just really happy to have this now. And then with my order, she also sent this little postcard from Orange with this official illustration. And this is actually probably my favorite color illustration from Orange. So I was really happy that she sent this to me. I don't own Orange in my physical collection. I have read the manga and I've watched the anime several times, and I'm really curious to see what the upcoming singles are going to look like in the, I believe, box set that they're releasing soon. But this is going to be the little placeholder in my collection to represent Orange. Next, I have another fan art print. And it is of Shinah from Yona of the Dawn. I am a huge fan of Yona of the Dawn. I am a huge fan of Shinah. He's my favorite character in the series. So any fan art that I see of him, if I like it, I just have to get it. So since I got this, I've just been staring at it. I really like it. This is an older design that was part of a release for the patrons of this pin maker. And they just released a brand new pin of him in this same pose in a different outfit. And so after I ordered this print, I was a little regretful, and I was thinking maybe I should have just tried to get the pin in his blue outfit instead of getting this print where he's wearing green. But as soon as I opened my package and pulled this out, I had no regrets, because I didn't realize from the images on the website how detailed the embroidery on his outfit would be. Like the details in his collar and the little gold on his sleeves. I think it would have been just absolutely amazing if they had done like gold foil for this print for those stitches. But even just as is, it's just gorgeous. And then we have the red gate behind him and then the huge moon. So I'm just really happy with this. And it's a print that involves the owner of the print holding my holding my hand. But again, just really happy with this print. I do have one other print that I've gotten from this pin maker, and I'm really happy that they do a lot of fan art for Yona of the Dawn. Next, I have a one-piece fanzine that I just got recently. It's one that I missed the pre-order and initial release of, and so then when I got a message on Instagram, did you know about this fanzine? It was too late. But then fortunately, after the organizer of the fanzine sent out all of the bundles to the people who pre-ordered, there were some leftovers. So they opened their shop again to sell the leftover fanzines as well as prints and stickers. So I'll put up on the screen just what my haul looked like for this one-piece DILF zine. I believe it's been about 2 weeks now since I got it, so all of these little stickers and little things I have tucked into little places for storage or for display, so I thought rather than just trying to hunt every little piece down from this bundle that I got, I would just put up this image from when I got my haul and then share just the physical zine. So here it is. It's pretty thin, but absolutely love this cover and back cover. I don't love Buggy looking all nasty on the back, but Smoker, Mihawk, just love this crocodile. But I won't flip through the whole thing. I just wanted to share a couple of my favorite illustrations. So this is my favorite illustration in the whole book. This made it worth it all on its own. Sanji is my favorite character, so just absolutely precious to see him as a little baby holding a little Zoro plush. And then Zeph just being a big man holding this little baby. And I, of course, love the art style that it's in. Another favorite is this one by this artist. I started following them on Twitter after I got the fanzine and saw this gorgeous illustration. I forget his name, but from the Wano arc. And then also loved this fan art of Riley. So, as you can probably see from these illustrations and the cover DILF zine, it just features a lot of the older men in the series. Fan art, some text stories. There were a lot of little stickers and little extras that were part of the bundles. And so I'm really glad that I was able to pick up one of the leftover copies. And then one last item before I can finally get to these packages, and that is this cookbook. So One Piece Pirate Recipes by Sanji. So in One Piece, Sanji is the cook. And so this is an official release, an official cookbook that is full of recipes, as well as additional illustrations of Sanji and little tips. So Sanji is my favorite character in One Piece, and when I found out about this cookbook, I was kind of thinking I wasn't sure if I really needed it. I felt like it would be more of a novelty thing if I did get it rather than being something I'd actually use. But after getting it, I'm just so happy that I got it. The book is so nice. It's hardcover. And it actually has a lot of good recipes in it that I'm looking forward to trying. So I'll show the table of contents. So one of the reasons I wasn't sure about getting this is because I don't eat red meat or poultry. And I also limit the dairy that I eat. So I was thinking there would just be a ton of just meaty recipes in here, which there are some, but there's a whole section with seafood dishes, which I do eat seafood, vegetable recipes, desserts, and then here at the end, this section was really cute with a recipe of the mangaka's favorite, as well as some photos from the mangaka's home and cooking. So I just thought, what a cute little detail. Sanji has a little blurb here as if it's like a little meet the author image and blurb. But a couple examples. So for each recipe, there's a section that says manga moment. It will have a panel from the manga, and then we'll kind of talk about how the dish in the cookbook relates to the manga, how it was introduced, as well as every recipe having an illustration of Sanji saying some kind of cooking related thing like boil those suckers up. And then there are some other little illustrations of like Luffy and Zoro, Robin. Here's another page with the recipe, the manga moment, and then Sanji giving a little food tip. But I'll just do a very quick flip through just to kind of show an overview of the kind of cookbook that it is. But I'm really excited about it. And I believe when this video goes live, it will have been a few weeks ago. I did just recently upload a YouTube short of my unboxing of the cookbook, as well as kind of flipping through and showing some of the illustrations inside. So I'll put a link up to that short. Okay, so now that we've gotten through all of that merch and fanzines, prints, manga that I've gotten over the past week and a half, 2 weeks or so, now I'll go ahead and get into these packages. So I'm going to open the fan art prints first. So I'm really excited about opening this. It looks like the corners are kind of banged up. It looks like it was bent a little bit despite having a do not bend sticker on it. But this is an artist that since before I read One Piece, I really liked their art style. And I actually almost bought their fan art book before I even read One Piece, but then I thought, I better wait. I better just wait till I read One Piece to make sure that I like the series, that I like these characters. And then while I was reading One Piece, I was only like a quarter into the series, and I thought, I want to get that fan book because I know I'm going to like these characters and I like the story so far. But then the shop was closed, so it's been months and months that I've just been waiting for the shop to reopen because they closed for the anime convention season, as this artist does go to conventions. But they just recently opened their shop, and I had an alarm set, and as soon as their shop opened, I just went right to it and put in a big order because I would have been devastated if any of the prints that I wanted or the fan book had sold out. So I just am really happy to get this, and I hope that everything is okay inside this mailer, so I'll go ahead and get it open. Okay. So everything is attached to a firm cardboard, so hopefully that protected everything inside the firm mailer. Okay, so I'll go through all of these prints before I open the fan book. Oh my gosh. So I got these big prints. These are 8.5 by 11s. And I really didn't need prints this big, but they only were in this size and I had to have them. So we have Corazon here. He is my third favorite character in the whole series, and I absolutely love this illustration of him. Like I said earlier, I just absolutely love their style. And I'm really happy to have this now. And it's like the print material is like, the paper feels really nice. The color looks really good, but it's not like really glossy or anything like that. So I'm just really happy about this. And then this ASL fan art print of Luffy, Ace, and Saba as adults as well as their younger selves. And I love them. All three of them are in my top 10. My favorite arc of the series is Paramount War, and my favorite volume is volume 60, which they are heavily featured in, so I definitely had to get this. There were some smaller prints of them as individuals, but I wanted to get one of them together, and this was just perfect. So now that I have these, I'm starting to think, how am I going to display these? How can I make these fit somewhere and have everything on display that I want to be able to look at? But really happy with these. There actually was another 8.5 by 11 illustration that I wanted to get, but I got a lot of stuff and I was thinking I need to calm down and just get my favorite things. So the other one I was thinking about getting was a fan art print of Hancock. So Hancock and Robin are my two favorite female characters in One Piece, and I really liked the illustration, but again, it was a huge print, and I was thinking it wasn't one that I would probably want to put on display. Like if it had been a smaller print, then I probably would have gotten it, but had to have these two, and then I got some smaller prints as well. So I believe all of these ones are 6 by 9. And I was tempted to just get the whole set. I forget what this little series was called. I'll put up on the screen what it was called, but it's basically like traditional clothing that they're all in. So I just went with, let's see, 5. And I probably would have just gotten fewer, but my husband has since started reading One Piece. He just finished Thriller Bark, and he is starting to have an opinion about which characters he likes, so I couldn't just get my favorites. I had to get some of his too, so of course, Sanji! I'm so happy. And his little hairy leg. So, had to get Sanji, of course. And then Zoro. He looks so cool. And Luffy. Luffy's my second favorite Straw Hat after Sanji. And then Frankie. Frankie's my third favorite Straw Hat. I really like him. And all of their clothing is just so cool. And then Robin, because she's one of my favorite girls. And my husband likes Robin a lot so far. And she just looks gorgeous, her outfit. So I thought if I just got the whole set of them, there were like 9 of them, I think. I thought I'll save some money if I do that. But then I thought if I get too many, I won't display them and then I'll just have them tucked away somewhere. So I just went with a few of our top favorites. I also have here 2 sticker sheets, battle fruits, but these ones aren't mine. I did a semi-group order with a friend who didn't want to have to pay for shipping, and I actually had something I needed to send her anyways, so I told her I'd just throw it into my order and send them over to her. But this is so hilarious. All of them with fruit. Sanji. Okay, I also have a couple stickers. So I felt okay about skipping Hancock's big print because I got her sticker. She's so cute. And it's like holographic. The hearts. This was super cute. I remember on Instagram when the artist was working on these and was showing drafts and stuff in their stories, and I was just following along, just loving it. So Hancock, also Korra. He's so precious. And these are all holographic stickers. I love him so much. And the third one is Katakuri. And he's sitting on a donut, eating a donut, holding another donut. But this is one that I had to have as well. It's so cute. They did have 6 different stickers, and I almost wish I had just gotten all 6 of them, but then these were my 3 favorites, so I was trying not to spend too much because I was already spending a lot. Next, I got the print pack from Film Red, and honestly, I only wanted the ones of Sanji and Zoro, but I also wanted this one of Shanks, and I was ready to just buy this one. But when I was on the shop, I found out that this wasn't one you could purchase. You got this one for free if you bought the pack. So I just went ahead and got the pack because I love Shanks. Oh, wow, these feel really soft. Okay, so we have Uta from Film Red. Oh, wow. I don't know if you can tell. There's like a thread texture and it's really glossy on the back. And then the front is like really soft. But I love these colors. Wow, this feels like canvas paper or something. Okay, so Luffy. And then Zoro. This one just was so cool. Him using his swords and then his outfit. Had to get this one. And then, of course, Sanji. So I absolutely love in Film Red Sanji's hair and outfit. In the movie, he has like wavy curly hair and it is just so cute. He has a different outfit on though, like in the first half of the movie, and then he changes in the second half. So this is his second half outfit, which is fine. I like this one as well, but he's just so cute. I like him so much. So of course, had to have this one. And then with this set of 4 prints, I also got Shanks. He's so handsome. And his shirt is always open. And no one's complaining. Really happy to have this one. I do have, I believe, 2 fan art prints of Sanji already. So now I have this one as well. And then in the One Piece DILF scene, I also have some art of him in there. So just gradually amassing more. And then lastly, from this order, is the fan book. Oh my gosh. And this is their business card. Their Instagram. This is so cute and little. So I think this book is 6 by 6. And it's a One Piece Children's Day fan book. I think it was released last year in 2022, but then it's been so popular. All of my One Piece friends on Instagram really like this artist as well and had to get this fan book as well. So to you and all that you are. And so I just got the book only. There were a few other bundles that had all of these illustrations as prints that would come along with the book. Oh. And I love now that I have an old and young version of these 3, and then in a different style. A different style, the same characters. This is so precious. And like I said a couple times already, I really, really like this artist's style for all of the One Piece characters. Frankie, I love little Frankie. He's such a little sweetheart. Well, he's a little terror, but then also a little sweetheart. Robin. Oh, I love it. Sanji's so cute. Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to get this. I was really worried that this fan book was going to sell out, but I think that they're aware of how popular it is and they have a lot of copies in stock, so that's fantastic. Zoro. Ugh, so cute. But this is such a cute idea. I really love art books, and then I've gotten to where I'm really liking fan art books as well as fanzines, so this is just perfect. Being able to have a little booklet with all of these illustrations, and the cover is actually, has a really interesting feel to it. Like, it's kind of matte. It's really soft, but then it has a little grip to it. So I'm not really sure, and it's staple bound. But yay! So this is everything from my print haul. And I'm really, really happy with all of the illustrations and the paper quality, just everything. Everything is perfect. And as soon as I'm done filming this video, I'm gonna just get these all back out and look at them again and probably spend the evening trying to decide how to display everything. Okay, so I have 2 boxes to go of manga. So these are all pre-orders, and both packages are from Barnes & Noble. Yay! Okay, Something's Wrong with Us, Volume 16. I love this series. I feel like I talk about it all the time. But this is the final volume of the main story. So volumes 1 to 16 are the main story of Something's Wrong with Us. And then after volume 16, there are 3 more volumes of side stories, so 17 to 19, which will be released over the winter. So I'm extremely happy that Kodansha is printing and releasing physicals of those bonus side stories, because I really wasn't sure if they were going to, because it's past the main story content. So I'm just thrilled about it. I do think it's really funny that this spine is like almost completely black, because the whole series, every spine is red with just like maybe a little bit of the cover coming into the spine a little bit, but this is just, bam, it's black. But this is a Josei series that follows 2 wagashi makers. There are a lot of traditional vibes in this series because they're always in yukata or kimono and making traditional sweets, going to traditional inns. So it has a lot of things in it that I really like. It is a romance story, but also ton of drama, a lot of cliffhangers and shocking reveals throughout. Most volumes end on a cliffhanger, and it's just like, ah! And then I would just be dying to read the next volume. So I really, really liked the last volume, 15. It gave so many answers and tied up a lot of loose ends. But unfortunately, it was kind of damaged. Like, it looked okay on the outside, but then a lot of the pages inside just had big like creases running through the pages for like the first third of the book. Just like every other page would have big creases running through, like folds. So I have returned my volume 15 and I still haven't gotten a replacement yet. And I usually with this series will read the volume before and then read the new release. So this time around, I'm just going to be reading volume 16. And then I think before the side story volumes come out, I'm going to go ahead and just reread the whole series before I get into the side story volumes. But just really happy to have this one. Even though there are 3 volumes still on the way, I'm just like, yes, series complete. Well, and then volume 15 I still need to get, but really excited to read this one. And off screen, I'm just flipping through it real quick, making sure that the pages look okay. I don't know what is going on with Kodansha. Like, 2 of my last Kodansha volumes I've gotten have had those folds and creases through the pages. And then another volume that I've gotten from Kodansha recently has had pages that just weren't fully printed and were super faded. So I've been really disappointed with the quality control from Kodansha. So I'm hoping that they'll be making some improvements moving forward, because We just want our manga to be good. We just want our volumes to be in pristine condition because we're buying them new. And especially when compared to some of the other publishers like Viz and Yen Press, just they need to work on their quality control. Okay, and then this last one, it should have 2 manga volumes and an art book, and it's kind of heavy. I hope everything is okay inside. I was a little worried that these were going to be all shipped together in a bigger box without any protective packaging and just be sliding around, ruining everything, but it seems like it's all pretty tight in here, so I hope everything is okay. I can kind of like peek inside of it, so I hope nothing got in. Also, this box is like really filthy. So I think I'm gonna pull everything out and then like wipe the floor down real quick before I continue. But yep, got my books. My invoice is protecting everything from just hitting the cardboard. I'm so excited about these. And so if anyone is wondering, I do always film my haul and unboxings on the floor in my bedroom. And don't worry, my floor is always clean. And then even though I'm bringing dirty packages in and unboxing everything, I like sweep and mop my floor every day because I just want it to be clean and it provides a good backdrop for my unboxings. For my new items, first is a business proposal volume 12. It's a manhwa series and it's thick and it's heavy, but I'm so excited to have this. The first volume is green and the second one is pink. So I'm really looking forward to getting more of the volumes so that I'll just have like super colorful pastels across my shelf. It looks like this volume is slightly misaligned, but it's not that big of a deal. Not super noticeable, but this is a workplace romance series that follows a romance between these two after she goes for her friend on an arranged date. That is like a marriage meeting with this CEO, and she realizes he's the CEO of the company that she works at. And so this series has a lot of really funny moments, a lot of super cheesy reactions to things, but I find the male lead extremely handsome. And I did read this whole series last winter, and when I heard about the physical release announcement, I was not intending to purchase it because while I did like some of the characters quite a bit, there were parts of the story that I found super cheesy. There is one character that I really can't stand. But when I saw volume 1 in the bookstore a few months ago, I could not resist getting it because Taemu was just so handsome. And I also have been watching the K-drama for A Business Proposal, and it's so different, like the vibe from the actors and the character that I dislike in the series. I actually like her quite a bit in the K-drama, so I was thinking I can just, when I get irritated with her in the manhwa, I can just pretend she's more like the K-drama version. But really excited to be adding this to my collection. I believe this is the only manhwa I have in my collection. I do own some Chinese manhwa, but I think this is the only manhwa so far. I do have a couple other favorite manhwa series that I request every month on the surveys from the publishers, but I've yet to see them get licensed, so we'll see. Until then, this is holding the spot in my collection for Korean manhwa. The next volume is volume 8 of Durarara. This is my favorite cover of the whole series so far, including the main story. the Saika arc, the Yellow Scarves arc, and then the Dollars arc. Silty is my favorite character in the series, and Shinra is my second favorite character. And they have a romance together that is just so quirky and odd, but very sweet. But the third volume of the main series is a cover with the two of them, but this one just, one in the newer art style, but just him carrying her, Princess Carrie, is so sweet. But this series, Durarara, I just read it a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. I had already watched season 1 of the anime, which covered the first 10 volumes of the series, and then for this $3 arc, it then went past that content that I had seen. There is more anime content for this arc that I just haven't watched yet, but I really enjoyed, like I said, the art style change that started with this arc, as well as the content, just bringing in more adult characters. I really like crime series, so the addition of some Yakuza characters, as well as assassins, joining this already very strange group of people, gang activity, other criminal organizations. So I had read through volume 7, so I'm excited to get into this one. I am planning to reread volumes 1 to 7 before getting into volume 8 because there were a lot of new characters introduced with this arc, and I forgot all of their names as I was reading. And so then into volume 5, I started getting a little confused, trying to remember who had done what. So I'm just going to reread it and then read straight into volume 8. But I've been really looking forward to just getting this one ever since I saw the cover because they're so cute and sweet. But really happy to have this one. And the last thing of my haul is Wotakoi Love, It's Hard for Otaku official artworks. So I do have this art book in Japanese, and it is predominantly art. So I did think when I heard about the English release of this art book that I didn't need it. But then I just wasn't sure what the quality would be like, if I would like it better, because there is, in the art book, a chapter in Japanese. And so I would like to have it in English, as well as a 2-page interview that I haven't been able to read. So, and then also just little pages like this with Japanese text. But again, most of it is just art. But I wanted to get it in English, 1, so I could have that content, but then 2, if it was nice, I might replace my Japanese copy or just have them both. So I'm really excited to get into this and see what it's like. And I wasn't aware when I ordered it that it comes with a poster, which the Japanese art book did not come with. I also kind of just didn't want to miss out on it because 1, Wotakoi is my favorite manga series. And then 2, I already was collecting the manga as they released. So then when the series concluded and this series was released in a box set, I was really, really bummed that I couldn't just get the box on its own. I was even really tempted to just buy the box set and have a duplicate set of manga and maybe try to sell one of the sets of manga just to have the box, but I just felt like it was a lot of work to do that. And I kind of regret it. I don't really know. Maybe I will get the box set. But I really am a Wotakoi junkie. I have all of the variant covers for the final volume. I have a duplicate set of the series in Japanese because in Japanese, they're singles as opposed to English being omnibus volumes, so there are more cover illustrations. And then I also have recently ordered the Blu-ray box sets that have additional variant covers for the Japanese volumes of Wotakoi, so I just love it and want to get as much as I can from this series. But if it really is just exactly the same, I'll have to decide which one to part with. But I am really pleased so far just holding it in my hands and looking at it. It looks like it got, bent in over here a little bit. Oh no. No. Well, I'm I'm gonna get this cut open. I was thinking it was perfect and I was happy, but on the cover, that mark, I'm not happy about that. I thought it was just the plastic, but okay, we'll see once I unwrap it. But what I was gonna say is that it was off to a good start that it's wrapped. I think just having it wrapped just protected it so much. It's white, so if it wasn't wrapped, it would probably have arrived dirty. But then also just recently the Haikyu release from Viz, they weren't wrapped, and just so many copies in bookstores that I saw were just trashed because of the book being handled and the dust jacket getting ripped in transit, as well as by probably employees and customers as they're shelving the books or browsing. So good job to Kodansha. Good choice to wrap them. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this open. Okay. This is pretty nice. So it has the same, let's see if I can, the same kind of like reflective little lines and dots and stuff as the Japanese art book has. Sorry, I'm having trouble showing the... Oh, it looks like the back cover doesn't have the reflective surfaces like the front cover does. And then... I don't know, it's not a huge deal, but it just is a bummer because it's brand new and it... Okay. So, oh, I thought it had a dust jacket, but it doesn't. And it is paperback, but it does have like, it's like slightly firm. And then, okay, so this looks like the poster, and it looks like it's attached, but maybe removable, or you cut it out, but, oh, I love this. So this was an illustration that was released as an acrylic plate at Anime Expo, I believe last year in 2022. And when they announced it, I almost bought plane tickets to go to Anime Expo, to fly there for the weekend and attend to try to get this acrylic plate because I absolutely love them. And just such a funny and cool like setting of them in California for the expo. But okay, this is what the poster is. Very cool. Yeah, and I haven't been able to get a hold of an acrylic plate of this because they sold out like on the first day of these, and then anyone reselling them were just like asking for hundreds of dollars for them. Now the prices have gone down to like 160 or something, but I'm not willing to pay that much. So, okay, so we have the interview here in the back, translated. It looks here like the binding is stitched, so that will help with the longevity of it. I noticed because the stitches, you can kind of see them here. But, oh, the other thing too is with the Haikyu art book, the Japanese one was from right to left, and then the English one, everything was flipped, so the front cover was on this side. But with this English Wotakoi, it's the same, starting from right to left. But it seems like all of the illustrations are the same, and it looks like any of the text that is in part of the illustration will still be in Japanese with a caption that says, like it says here, sign Wotakoi loves her for otaku. Rather than like removing it from the illustration and putting it in English. Okay, so this is all translated as well. All of this little text. This is still in Japanese because it's part of the illustration, I guess. Okay, this is translated. And that's like the main thing, the main reason I got it was to kind of see what how they would do the translations and stuff. Oh! Okay, I think I'm gonna have to keep this English copy because, like, I just need to be able to read these in English, all these little funny things. Recognize her? I love Narumi so much. And the guys, they look so handsome. Yay! Okay. I have read this chapter with Google Lens and I'm gonna read it again in English with this translation. You know, I'm really happy about this. And it's like the thickness of like my fan art prints. So it's like kind of thick, like kind of like paperboard or like cardstock kind of thickness. But wow, I don't have to miss out on this illustration and I don't have to pay in the triple digits to get it. Okay, so I'm happy with this purchase. So happy that it was wrapped. The only thing is that this corner, I think I'll be able to live with that though. I mean, I could return this and then try to get another copy, but then there's no guarantee that the second copy would be in good condition. I'm honestly just surprised that this was sent in a mailer that, I don't know, like a clamshell mailer. I really thought it was just going to be loose in a big box. So I was really worried and thinking I was going to have to return it, but I'm pretty happy with it. So the main things I was thinking in comparing these, that I was thinking I would return the English one if it was just too similar and did not have enough benefit to me, is that the Japanese one feels really just deluxe. Like it has a dust jacket, like a thick one, like this goes really deep. And then the cover has like all this texture on it. And then the dust jacket itself is really soft. And then even though it's off-white compared to this white cover, it also has the reflective, I'm having so much trouble showing it, the reflective thing. So I'm glad that the English copy did too. Oh, it looks like the back of the Japanese one doesn't have the reflective either, so okay. But then also, I found this obi really cute that it's like, I don't remember what this is called, but it's like it's not regular paper, it's like a kind of plasticky, but then also really soft and translucent. But I just thought that this looked so nice, but then unfortunately, I kind of dislike flipping through this one because this is so like slippery and like if I try to do anything then it like falls off and then the dust jacket starts being weird. So I could find myself being content with just having the English one since they're pretty much the same other than the pages with the English. I don't know, I'll probably spend some time this week comparing them a bit more before I decide if I'm going to keep them both or if I'm going to have the English one be replacing the Japanese one. But wow, when I saw about the poster, I was not expecting much. I was expecting like maybe something this big that like folded out and was like the thin poster paper, and just like it being a really simple illustration of the 4 of them or of the 6 of them, kind of similar to what's on the box set, one of the side illustrations. And it's not like I don't care for that illustration. It's just like a very simple illustration, but I was not expecting this. I can't believe it. But that's everything for this haul. I'm going to pull everything back down for a sec. Okay, so I'll just pull down all this manga. I have piles of prints and all the other merch that I showed, but this is all my hauled manga. I don't know how long this video is going to be when it's edited and things are cut out of it, but either way, I think it's going to be pretty long. So if you've watched it to this point, I apologize that it was so long. But thank you so much if you stuck around to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching the unboxing of all of these, as well as just kind of showing the things that I've picked up. I have thought about like trying to film when I get one thing and I want to open it and I can't be patient to unbox it with something else. But I just tend to quickly open things and then I'm like, oh, I should have filmed it. And that's why I just bring them on and share them before opening a bigger package. But hope this was fun and enjoyable to watch as I went through all of my pickups recently, all my latest merch, my prints and pin mail and acrylic charms and just all the little goodies that I've been picking up and the things that have been sent to me. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching.